S15. Woo! Going onto the dyno. What does all of this mean? You must be wondering. Oh yeah. So we are at the HKS Technical Factory today. We're going to be using their Dino Packs. We're going to do a power check and find out how much power the S15 really makes, so we can then come back after all the changes we're going to do and see the difference in data for you guys. When making content on YouTube or videos in general, one thing that's always a struggle is trying to show you guys the difference a power mod has made to a car. Now, obviously you're not sitting in the car, you can't feel the difference, so we need to show you data. And that's why we're here today at the HKS Technical Factory, to get the S15 dynoed, to know what power it's making now, so when we do the engine build, when we change to the new Garrett turbo, and we look at 20 years of turbo technology difference going from the old HKS 2530 setup, which is a very old Garrett turbo that's on there, to their new G25 setup, as well as a whole bunch of other mods we're going to be doing. It's going to be really good. One other thing I want to mention is dynos aren't really a dime a dozen here in Japan. It's actually pretty hard to find a shop that has one, that has free time and space available to just do a power check like this. So I want to say right now a massive thank you to Oka-chan for helping me organize this with the HKS Technical Factory, for them taking time to enable me to do this for me and for you guys. One other thing is, I'm just excited to know how much power the S15 really makes. We've speculated it's been around the 400 power mark for a long time now, although I'm expecting the power to kind of be a little bit lower because we do have some more cracks in the manifold after the time attack day, but still we can kind of get a baseline and know where we're at right now and speculate, yeah, probably an extra 20 horsepower or 10 was lost with those cracks, and then we'll know where we're going to end up, obviously with all those changes, where the power curve and the power band's going to change. It's going to be a big difference, and I'm excited. So I've never actually seen how hub dynos are connected to the hubs. So this is very interesting, because in the future I would love to get myself a hub dyno for my shop when we get a bigger shop and things progress a lot more in the future. And I'm just really intrigued how it all hooks up. Obviously it goes off the studs, and then it kind of has like a spline here that connects into the hub there. Very interesting. Super cool. And then he's getting this side done now too. So these are Dino Packs. And I'm curious as well, because I've seen like with Dino Packs, they have these like water lines. I wonder if that's for cooling or something. We'll learn about that later. But they've definitely got some really cool customer cars here that they're working on right now. I mean, the HKS Technical Factory always has amazing stuff. Sheesh. That looks good. They've also got some candy on display in here, so we'll go take a quick look at that. Taking a quick moment to tell you about today's video sponsor, which is DAFSKI. And as you can see behind me, we are at the park to check out the beautiful sakura trees in full bloom. And here's the best thing, DAFSKI is an online store dedicated to selling only the coolest and sickest air fresheners for your ride. And we collaborated together to bring you a Japanese authentic sakura scented air freshener for your car. This clips onto your AC vent, and as you can see, the S15 and the sakura trees are there in the background. It's super cool. I hope you guys love it. Head to dafsky.com, go grab yourself some, as well as some of the other air fresheners, and your car can start smelling like it does right here in this park right now. The sakura is seriously amazing. If you don't know what it is, it's the cherry blossom trees here in Japan, and it's a huge seasonal thing. And it pretty much, I mean, I don't know if you can see behind me, but you can see a lot of people under them drinking and having parties with friends and stuff. It's a huge cultural thing. With that, guys, let's get back to the video. If you guys are OGs, you know we've been to the HKS Technical Factory before. It's a huge facility. They have a bunch of storage sheds down there too with some really cool cars in it. Maybe we'll get to check them out today. Whew! Speaking of, look at that midnight purple 33 GTR on 34 GTR wheels across the road at the gas station. That aside, it kind of sucks because they're getting some work done right now up there. So the signage is kind of a bit destroyed there. Normally it has this really cool like reflective HKS logo and stuff. But that aside, let's go inside and have a look at what they have here on display, because they have some of the coolest stuff here. Starting off, the moment you walk in, you get to see, well, this is pretty cool. You got a 35 GTR engine just sitting here, VR38. You've got a Subaru engine. I'm sure that's, what is that, FA20? Oh, so this is the BRZ or the GT86 engine. You get some turbo stuff up here. So this is RB26 twin turbo kit with their downpipes. Over here, got another turbo kit here. Just a bunch of really cool stuff. And we'll kind of swing through everything. They got the HKS Supercharger Kit here. This thing's actually pretty cool. I love HKS Supercharger kits. Actually, if I get a 350Z in the future, I plan to put one on it. And then over here, see they bunch of cool stuff on display. Ooh, this is super rare. Super rare. So this is, I believe, a 33 GTR cluster. And as you can see, it's the HKS themed one. So HKS did a very limited batch of these. They are crazy expensive. This will not be for sale, definitely. There's some cool turbo wheels here, intake pipes, intake manifolds, carbon pieces, some cool display of their titanium stuff. These guys are Advan Yokohama wheel dealers too, so you'll see a lot of Yokohama Advan wheels everywhere. HKS coilovers on display, more of their exhaust kits. This place is just awesome. Hopefully we'll get to go upstairs and show you some cool secret stuff up there too. Some fenders, more carbon pieces, some more parts for sale. There's a RB Nismo spec engine for sale here. This, I believe, has some crazy price tag on it now, but it is for sale. Very cool. You can see the Nismo badge there. Old school HKS race bike. I don't know much about racing bikes, but I believe that this won a race and then it never drove again. You can kind of still see all the tire built up on there, and they parked it here. And it kind of just sat here for the rest of its life. It's always been on display every time I've been here now. This engine's for sale, full HKS spec 2.8 with VCAM. So Nismo intake manifold. I have no idea what the prices are on this. We might ask later. Whole bunch of HKS merch here. This stuff is good. See if they have the green tea. They sell these little cans of green tea. They've been sold out for the longest time, and I wonder if they have any left. Doesn't look like it. Looks like they're all gone, unfortunately. But yeah, you could literally buy little green tea like cans. This is another engine that's for sale. It's a 4.3 liter. So this is a it's a VR38, but it's 4.3 liter stroke, twin turbo HKS kit. I'd like to see one of these in an S15 in my possession in the future for competition. Would be cool. That's my goal. Super cool. And then they got a bunch of, wheels and all that kind of stuff here. It's pretty cool. I love this place. Back over here now, you can see they've got the Dino Packs connected to the hubs, and things are getting all set up. It's got the computer out. Whew. That I haven't seen a white tower in a long time, since like the early 90s. So this is going to be interesting. It's got oh, I guess that's like intake air temperature kind of around there. And I think he's got a vacuum line hooked up in there as well. Yeah, we got the T here, so they know boost levels. This is going to be cool. This is going to be really good data. I'm excited. Also, I managed to change the wheels and tires back to my drifting ones. And can we just talk about how good the 17 Koenig hypergrams look on this? They look amazing. Seriously, super aggressive. I love it. So they got the car warming up right now. Pretty excited. Hopefully everything holds out and we should be good. Make sure that aircon's turned off so we get all that extra power squeezed out. So we now have the boost controller set for the high boost setting. Okamoto-san,何馬力思いますか? 370馬力だよ. So about 370 horsepower, he thinks. I would like 420 just for the number, but we got to take into account the exhaust manifold and stuff. 何速使うで? Okay, so we're going to be using 4th gear, 4? Go. Oh, 5th gear. 5速は直結1対1. Ah, okay, so for the 1-to-1 ratio, we're going to be going 5th. This is also a 6-speed transmission, so that's why we need to use 5th, I believe, as well. So I'm excited. Taking into account cracked manifold and all that aside, if we make 400, I'll be happy. And I'm just glad to get a baseline and know what we're dealing with here. So this is going to be good. So before the dyno starts, I want you guys to, 1, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Here's a graph to show how many of you guys aren't subscribed watching the channel. Think about that. Second thing is, put your guesses down in the comment section. How much power exactly do you think it is going to make? Let's hope for a good number. I'm hoping for that 420, baby. Things are getting serious. The fan's on now. Here we go. Yeah, baby. Woo! Man, that gate sounds good. So we've had a little bit of issues with the boost controller and just changing some settings there. It's making a little bit too much boost in the 5th gear range. So we're just making some changes there to make sure that's not gonna cut or do anything else like weird like that. And then we should be good to do another pull and get our numbers. The guys panicked a little bit when they heard the wastegate, and they're now getting a metal board to put under there just to protect the lift that's built in under there so it doesn't get burnt or start a fire or anything like that. Sounded so good to hear my wastegate fully pop open though out here. Sounds good. Yeah! Damn, that flutter sounds so good. What we got? Apparently we're sitting at about 360. So pretty much on the money where Okachan thought it was gonna be at. That sounds about right. A few cracks in the exhaust. Yeah. All right, we're gonna have a look and see if the boost controller was okay there and if we need to go up a little bit more. So the boost was actually too low that time. We've set it up a little bit more to where it's been when I've been drifting. Now we're gonna get a little bit more. Okay, yeah, we're sitting about 370, 367. Nice. Sugoi, Okamoto-san. That's good. With the cracked manifold to be sitting at 370, that's really good. All right, so having another look at the graph here, this is the torque graph. And we can see we make peak torque at about 46, 4,700 RPM, and then it kind of falls down. Power here though, you can see we make our peak power at like almost 7,000 RPM, at like 6,800 RPM. So that's actually really nice, and that's what I feel with my power band on this car. It's kind of like very like in the same zone here, which is good to see. This extra graph here that you see is comparing it to is from Okachan's what he's using for time attack right now, the one with the yellow tinted headlights, and that has a Borg Warner turbo on it. And his, as you can see, comes up way faster spool and then kind of levels out up here at the 400 range. So our goal is to beat this at the next dyno when we get the new turbo on there. This is exciting. This is really good data. We're gonna have the printout as well. But this is really, really good. I'm hyped on these results. 367 horsepower with cracked manifold. Pretty much on the money for what Okachan thought, 370. So what an absolute champion.
So all things considered, I think the car power level where it's at right now, with the cracked manifold and all that into consideration, is really good. The results are pretty epic. For a turbo that's literally like 15 years old, I think. Okamoto-san, このターボ何年なの古いやつですか? 15? 15年? 20年. 20 years old that turbo is. 20-year-old turbo technology. To be making 370 horsepower on that with cracked manifold, you guys know that if it didn't have a cracked manifold, it probably was making more around the 400 mark. So we were pretty on the money there with assuming that that's how much it made. So I'm pretty happy with that. I hope you guys are too. I know like it's always been a question, Sam, does your car really make 400 horsepower? And the answer is today, well, really no. But if it didn't have a cracked manifold, maybe. I don't know. Probably only like 15 to 20 horsepower difference there, to be honest. We would have seen a faster spool. I don't know, it's hard to really tell with that kind of stuff. So there's a good chance we're probably only sitting around the 380 mark, but to have that on a stock block SR20, stock head gasket, stock studs is incredible. The only work that's been done is the head. I believe there's HKS Step 3 valve train gear in there with Step 1 cams. So just really basic stuff, and the thing revs out to 8,000 RPM. You guys see me hit that all the time. SRs, it doesn't take much to make them reliable. I know a lot of people overseas give them a lot of flack, but a lot of the engines you guys are getting are already clapped out engines, and a lot of the people selling those engines list them as low kilometer, low mileage engines. Then you've also got to take into account a lot of the ECUs are chipped and tuned over here. And even though you open it up, it may look factory, it may have a chip and tune on there, which is suited for Japanese high octane gas, which is like 100 octane at the pump. I know there's a lot of argument there with different octane ratings and stuff, but it's just proven. You drive a car here on high octane with the same setting and tune, and it's not pinging and detonating. You go to the US, put the high octane gas in, and it's detonating. So take that into consideration. Always run an aftermarket ECU. I don't recommend running an OEM factory ECU in the States or something like that. If you have an SR20, just spend the money, get an aftermarket one, get a proper tune, go to someone who actually knows their SRs, like I think Aras Enthalpy, I think that's how you pronounce it in the States, is really good for that. So just find someone like Oka-chan over there, because the worst thing you want is someone who doesn't know how to tune an SR, and that's the result. Because yeah, you can't have a hard limiter on them, it has to be a soft limiter, otherwise you'll start shooting rocker arms everywhere. Never use the BR limiters, those kill SRs. They kill any engine, to be honest. Don't use those. They're junk. Throw them in the bin. In the bin. Like Marty says, in the bin. All right, cool. We done? We good? A little bit of SR knowledge downloaded to y'all. We're gonna pack up here and we're gonna head back to Yashio factory and have some fun. We'll pick it up when we get there. I nearly forgot. No rocker stoppers. Made it back to Yashio factory, and there's something over my shoulder there that you guys might notice sitting there. I wonder who that might be for. I wonder. Anyways, bunch of things happening and getting things planned for next week after Mitsuri. We're pretty much hoping to have the engine out and the car off to the body shop to start getting a whole bunch of work done on it while we're building the engine. So keep an eye out for that content coming. That's going to be awesome. As for now though, Yuta is here working on a customer's car, and this is a super clean Koki 180SX, which is an S15 engine swap. Look at that. VCT and VCS engine sitting in there. So this is getting a full Yashio factory tune today. Yuta's working on getting the new coupler for the 35 GTR airflow meter installed so we can put this bad boy in. And I wanted to talk to you guys a bit about airflow meters. So this cartridge, right, you can only ever put this in an 80mm OD piece of pipe. If you put this in anything bigger or smaller, I probably won't let you go smaller because of how long the cartridge is, but if you put this in something like a 90mm or 100mm, which we have seen other competitors do, you will never be able to get the car, one, idling smooth, and two, doing the right thing under boost and whatnot, especially if you're tuning off your airflow meter. So the reason for this is, I guess, let's look at the factory one. There is a reason why airflow meters restrict you to the size that they come in. Like, they come as one big piece like this. That's like a piece of pipe, right? Same as like Z32 ones, GTR ones, they're all that big black plastic piece. They force you to only have that one size of pipe that the sensor sits in, right? There is a reason for that, because if you go and increase the OD of the pipe, then all of a sudden there's like the measurements that it's giving you, the readouts that it's giving you do not match what is actually really going into the engine. So I'm sure you guys kind of understand what I'm saying, and I hope I explained that okay. But yeah, if you put a 35 GTR airflow meter in cartridge into something bigger than 80mm, you're gonna have a bad day. We've seen that happen a lot. We've had a fair few cars come in here, people who sourced their own 35 GTR airflow meters and did it all themselves. They were 90mm and 100mm pieces of pipe, and it just was untunable pretty much. Also, another big thing, don't get anything but factory OEM Nissan 35 GTR airflow meter sensors. If you get anything else, they're junk and they give you different readouts once again. So when you're dealing with chipping and tuning the factory ECU, these are all the kind of issues that you have to deal with. Sure, if it was a Link and stuff, well, I mean, let's be honest, if it was a Link, you wouldn't even be using an airflow meter, right? You just use a map sensor and go. But yeah, a whole bunch of things like that you need to be careful of. Use genuine parts, don't mess around. Just finished getting this car running after a fresh engine build. And wifey's just arrived. I have a question. How much power do you think the S15 made today?
Which one?
My S15, the one that we did the power check on today. You know which one.
410.
410? I wish. A little bit lower. See if you can guess a
390.
Oh, more lower. Just think about cracks in the manifold.
150.
No. 367. All things considered, it was pretty good. Okay. So we got a baseline now. We know where we're at currently. Probably I'd say we were at 380 in its prime without any cracks. I think that's a fair bet. Once we do everything, we'll work out where we're at. We're ready to go get some meat. Let's go. Yakiniku party. We just finished having yakiniku. This is Rin-chan. She's the next DK, right? The show? Just like her dad, she's full of energy. She's been running around in circles for ages. It took a bit, but I caught her. We got her in the end. Nande, jiwaru.
Back home now, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I definitely did. Getting some data on the S15, finally knowing exactly what power it is making is a huge help moving forward with all the upgrades that we have planned. That aside, we walked away with, I think it was 367.2 horsepower at the rear wheels. Now, takeaway, probably plus an extra, like, you know, anywhere from 15 to 25 horsepower. Something is missing right now, because we did also discover afterwards that the turbo gasket is also leaking. So with the manifold cracks and that, I'd say like we were probably in its prime sitting at around 380 horsepower at the rear wheels. There's no point even talking about engine power numbers, because all that really matters is what's at the wheels, like the rubber going to the road, in my opinion. So that's probably where we were at. So was my S15 making 400 flat? Probably not, but that's okay. 380 is close enough in my opinion. And I sit there thinking to myself, damn, I did a lot of stuff in my car at 380 horsepower. I'm excited to up that, because even if with all the changes, if I turn it down to only like 450 horsepower or 480 or 500 or we go more, whatever. But the fact that I learnt to drive in a chassis like this with not crazy amounts of horsepower is a really good thing. It means that skill's gonna upscale when we do get horsepower. We can do some cooler stuff. So anyways, guys, I hope you're excited. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed yet, click that button. And with that, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I think we did all of that. I'll see you guys in the next one. We'll probably be at Ebisu Circuit for Mitsuri weekend, so get excited for that. Peace out. Jamata.